What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another pre-recorded video, and today we'll be concentrating on transfers. You know, we'll do a lot of these over the summer as well. Before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, keep supporting, smash that button, road to 50k, like this video as well. Also comment on the transfer news, let me know what you think and put it down below in the comments. So let's start off with the main story of today, and that is, we'll call it Daily Gabriel, and to be honest, we could do with Jesus saving us after the way the season has just finished. But Gabriel Jesus, according to reports coming out of Brazil, is willing to join Arsenal ahead of Tottenham. He was linked with a move to Antonio Conte's Tottenham over the last 48 hours. But according to reports, the reporter said Gabriel Jesus is Arsenal's #1 target. He is seen as a perfect fit for their attack. He has the intelligent movement that manager Mikel Arteta is looking for, while his versatility also offers flexibility. Crucially, he also works incredibly hard off the ball. That is according to The Athletic, that we know is often the mouthpiece of the football club. It also goes on to say that his agent has had a number of meetings with Edu. He's also worked with Edu before with the Brazilian national team. He's also worked with Mikel Arteta when he was the assistant manager at Manchester City for 3 seasons. This relationship, added to the fact that he will be getting a £60,000 a week pay rise and also a guarantee of being Arsenal's #1 striker next season. Now, we've spoken about Gabriel Jesus time and time again. It looks as if he's going to be the main kind of big transfer of the season. Would you be happy with Gabriel Jesus being our #1 striker? Now, I said a couple of weeks ago, if we got in the Champions League, I felt we needed somebody else. I still feel like we need 2 strikers because we don't have a striker that has that physical presence, that can win the headers in the air, that when you're struggling is like a plan B, like a Giroud type of striker. Obviously, we know the club are trying to convince Eddie Nketiah to stay. I don't agree with that. I would let him go. But would you be happy with Jesus? Now, according to the reports, Manchester City still want around 40 to 50 million pounds for him, which is a lot of money for a guy with 1 year left on his contract. But I just feel the fact that we're not in the Champions League, when you look at the striker market, there's very little value for money. You know, they're talking about Isaac, 75 million, and players like this. So I think they're going to think a guy that's played in the Prem, won the Premier League, worked with the manager before, 40 odd million pounds probably represents good business. Also, if Jesus was to sign for Arsenal, how many goals do you think he would score in a season? Do you see him breaking 20 league goals? Or do you think he's going to get maybe the Lacazette kind of numbers? Not Lacazette this season, but at his best, he was a 10 to 15 goal striker. I certainly think Jesus could score 20 goals, but I just don't think we create enough chances to maybe get those numbers. I think he'll be maybe around the 15 goal mark. But with the way the last week has gone, I wouldn't turn my nose up at a move for Gabriel Jesus. So let me know what you think in the comments about Jesus. Second story of the day is concerning the midfield position. Now, we know that Thomas Partey needs a better midfield partner next to him. In fact, Thomas Partey himself has not played enough football this season. And the main target, according to Fabrizio Romano, is Youri Tielemans. I think we all know about this transfer. The club are trying to make it happen. There's no secrets about this. And The Athletic have also come out with a report today as well. Everyone's favourite news articles come from The Athletic. Well, I'm joking, by the way. But yeah, they often get it directly from the football club. They have said Youri Tielemans ranks high among Arsenal's midfield targets. Ideally, the club would love to pay in the region of £25 million. Preliminary talks have taken place between Edu and the player's agent, although multiple clubs are interested. They hope he can be persuaded to join Arsenal. This despite the fact Arsenal do not have Champions League football now. For those that don't know, Tielemans almost signed for Arsenal when Arsene Wenger was in charge. He nearly signed him from Monaco. In the end, he went to Leicester because they offered him first-team football. Arsenal couldn't guarantee him that at the time. So there is a connection between Arsenal and him and his agent. Would you be happy with Tielemans? And according to this report, Leicester would not accept 25 million. They are looking to get about 35 to 40 million Interestingly enough, Leicester are today being linked with Aouar, who Leon apparently only want 12 million for. So they're going to sell Tielemans to Arsenal for 30 to 40 million and then maybe go and buy Aouar for around 12 million. Would you rather we went and got Aouar instead of Tielemans? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you be happy with Tielemans? Do you think he's good enough to play in the pivot next to Partey? Or do we need somebody a little bit more mobile? Somebody maybe like a Basuma? I just don't get any impression that Arsenal want Basuma. I think it's coming from people like me, from the fans. You know, we're talking about him. I've heard very little from actually out of Arsenal to suggest that they want Basuma. But let me know. Basuma actually is being linked with a move to Aston Villa, who've just signed Kamara from Marseille. So clubs are shaking and moving already. We need to get moving. We know where we're at. We know we're in the Europa League. I want to see that first transfer made sooner rather than later. You know, I think get a Gabriel Jesus through the door and get moving, and then we can build. We've got a lot of business to get done over the summer. Now, just quickly, a little loan watch. Obviously, we've got a number of players out on loan at the moment and a lot of stories going around. I'm just going to quickly go through them. Obviously, at the moment, Hector Bellerin has now finished his loan at Real Betis. He won the Copa del Rey this season. But apparently, according to reports, they can't afford his wages, £100,000 a week for Bellerin. He wants to stay. They want to sign him. They can't afford the wages. For me, don't bring Bellerin back to the club. I think you've got to find a way that maybe we pay off part of his wage and they take him on a reduced wage. For me, Bellerin has to leave. I wouldn't want to see Bellerin back at Arsenal next summer. Another player, William Saliba. Now, Mikel Arteta has spoken about William Saliba today, but I'm actually going to save it. I'll be back on stream tomorrow and I will go in more detail around him. But just overall, it seems as if Arteta wants to bring Saliba back to Arsenal. Saliba has said he wants to stay at Marseille. For me, that's a player we have to bring back. I think he's capable of getting in ahead of Ben White, although he does need time to see how he adjusts to the Premier League. Another one is Pablo Mari. He's been on loan at Udinese this season, done fairly well. According to reports, they would like to keep him. Again, there's a problem over the wages. Arsenal have overpaid a lot of these players. He earns around 70 grand a week, and Udinese may struggle to pay that. I'm not a big fan of Pablo Mari. I think if you've got Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba comes back, Holding will probably be there because he's on a long contract. Pablo Mari, for me, is somebody that I would get off the wage bill. Heading into midfield, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. According to reports, a number of Premier League clubs interested in signing him. Arsenal believed to be willing to take about 8 million for him. Only has a year left on his deal. Mourinho has said he doesn't think he's up to the level to join Roma on a permanent basis. So it looks as if he's going to come back to Arsenal. Personally, I wouldn't be against keeping Ainsley as a squad player for Europa League. He's versatile, can play midfield or at fullback or at wing-back. But I just think the club will cash in on him. He's got a year left. He hasn't been treated great by the manager, and I would expect him to leave. He's being linked with Crystal Palace, Everton and Southampton, so I think he will want to leave in a World Cup year. Lucas Torreira, the situation with Torreira, we heard the other day that talks had broken down between Arsenal and Fiorentina. His agent has come out today and said they still hope to renegotiate this deal with Arsenal in the future, and they would still like to see Torreira at Fiorentina next season. I think they're just trying to pull a bit of a fast one on Arsenal. This was a pre-agreed price, and they're trying to turn around and say, oh, we can't quite afford it now. Apparently, he's up. He could potentially win Player of the Season this season for Fiorentina. I still think this deal will happen. He doesn't want to play in England. He loves it in Italy. He's had a good season. You know, 15 million euros is a bargain, really. So I expect this deal to get done. Maybe a little bit cheaper. One of the other loan players is Reiss Nelson. We'll see him in the Conference League final later in the week against Roma and against Ainsley. Had a decent season. According to reports, Feyenoord want to bring him back on loan for another year. They're struggling to afford to buy him. That, for me, would not be a great deal. I personally don't think Nelson has a long-term future at Arsenal unless he's improved dramatically. at Feyenoord. I would be looking to cash in on him. He's young, he's English, and I would be looking to move him on elsewhere, possibly if we can't get a deal secured for him. So yeah, Reece Nelson. But let me know what you think in the comments about all these players. Would you bring any of these guys back? Do you think any of them are good enough? And or would you just basically cash in on all of them? I'm sure most of you would want Saliba back. Final story of the day is Gareth Southgate has announced his England squad for the Nations League games against Hungary, Germany and Italy. Now, a lot of pundits and of certain clubs have been saying they don't want their players in the England squad. You know, it's been a long, grueling season, and now you've got to go and play 3 games for your country. But Arsenal have 3 players in the England squad for these games. I'll put the squad up on the screen here. Aaron Ramsdale has made the England squad once again. Bukayo Saka, I think we all expected that. And the third one is Ben White. No place in the England squad for Emile Smith-Rowe. His place has gone to Jared Bowen this time. Jared Bowen, of course, had a fantastic season for West Ham, scored a number of goals, and I'm not surprised that he's been given an opportunity, being that he plays on that right-hand side. So let me know what you think. I think Ramsdale, we all expected. Saka, of course. Ben White's done pretty well to get in there. Tomori's been recalled, but I think Ben White was always going to get in. And do you think Emile Smith-Rowe should have been in the squad? But I do think Jared Bowen has had a better season than Smith-Rowe, so I'm not surprised that that's happened. So our players will be off playing international games now before they go on their holidays and prepare for pre-season. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. We are going to do a lot more pre-recorded content over the summer, especially transfers as well. So make sure you look out for that. I'll be back on here tomorrow with a live stream again. We'll talk about Saliba in more detail. Also, links to Osimhen today as well. So make sure you join me for that. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you